Hello everyone, and welcome to our webinar where we're going to talk about not just how to magnetize more from a completed board, but now that I've had a chance to chat with a few of the ladies, it's also going to be talking about how to make a board and how to make a board that is going to give you more of what you want in an ideal way. So actually what I'm going to do for now is I'd love to expand. Okay, feel free to add stuff into the chat room. You can do that by looking at the bottom and clicking the chat button and then typing in, and I will every now and again, grab stuff from here. So if you have questions, if you have comments, please pop them in there. And that way you guys can see each other's bits of information. Sound good?
Okay.
Yeah, okay. I just want to do a check-in of how everybody got here. And so how many of you got in from being a Dynamic Women in Action member?
That'd be me.
You? Okay. And maybe Maria? No? How many of you came in from being a client? Maria? Yeah. Probably. Kirsten, you got a special email because you came to Dynamic Year, possibly.
And also member.
Pardon?
And also member.
And also member. You're double in, okay? And then Monique, were you at the 4th Annual Vision Board, or were you at the Burnaby Board of Trade's Vision Board event?
Burnaby Board of Trade.
Okay, great. I'm just trying to remember where everybody's from. And hopefully those that come in later, I can ask them as well, and that will help as well. Okay, so some of you guys are partially done boards, but has everybody done a board in the past?
Yes.
Vision board. Yes, Maria. Monique, you've done a board in the past?
This is my first.
This is your first. Okay, cool. So when I was at the Burnaby Board of Trades event, the Women's Success Business Network, when I led that, I talked a little bit about how to make a board. And so I'm going to go through some of that stuff. And then from there, I'll go into how to magnetize more from your board and get into how to make yourself a stronger player in your board. And at that point, we're really going to get interactive, and you guys can come up with some of your own ideas in how you're going to be a stronger player in your board. And so this is highly interactive. I am going to kind of pull some of my information over, and so I might not be able to see you at every single moment. And so I ask, if you have a question, just say my name. Or just say, can I ask a question, so that I can definitely make sure that I get your questions answered. And that's the beauty of being live on this, because I am recording it and I will send the recording out. But when you're actually live, you get to be part of this, which is awesome. So thank you for being here. Okay, let's jump in. So with vision boards, ideally we want to be looking at bringing in all areas of life. Okay, do you ladies remember what all the areas of life are?
I remember what the pie looks like.
You remember the pie, good. So this is based on the Wheel of Life. This is a resource I do have on my website if you're wanting to grab it. It's at www.dianerolston.com/resources, and you can grab the Wheel of Life from there. Even better is to do it with me, because then what we're going to be able to do is grab the satisfaction from every area of life rather than just success. And the moment that you can switch satisfaction for success, you're going to have a lot more joy in life, basically. So let's go through all the areas. So we have career. Yell them out if you know them.
Recreation.
Fun, recreation. What else?
Health.
Health, good. Romance and significant other.
Yeah.
Hopefully they're the same.
Relationships.
So that would be family and friends. That can be two different areas, or one if you mark them as the same. What else?
Spiritual.
Spiritual. Your personal development.
That was the other one.
Yeah. Your physical environment.
That's one.
There's something around wealth.
Yeah. Finances.
Finance. Mm-hmm.
And that should be 10 now.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. Yeah.
Perfect. So we want to create a board that has all areas of life. That's important. Now, when we are doing it, it's really good to be thinking about not just what you want to have happen in each area, but how you want to feel. So how you want to feel is also important in each of the areas. And I know with the Burnaby Board of Trade, that's one thing that we definitely went through, is how to be in each area. So let me just throw up one of mine. Okay, so I know it's backwards, but you can see my kind of love romance area. I even included a picture of like flowers and these special pretty things. And I put power couple, better together, you know, sweets and stuff. Plus there's like playfulness down here. And so I didn't just put, you know, 10 date nights a year or weekly date night or trip together. I actually put how I want to feel with him and how I want to feel myself in the relationship. So I want to feel the joy and the love and the playfulness as well, because I know that's when we're the strongest. And that was last year's. And this year, you know, we added a few more things. There's adventure. There's the idea of loving myself, being bold, love and lust. It's always helpful when magazines have really cool things. But also an image of this connection. Okay, so thinking about how you want to feel and what you want to happen. And so not all the time is there going to be the ultimate picture of what you want to do, but there might just be the who you want to be. And so asking how you want to feel, but also who you want to be is important. Any questions around that?
No, I was just sharing something here on the chat.
Oh.
About relationships and how I want to feel. I just said that on my last year's board, I had the sex of my dreams. That's how I wanted. So I had that as part of my board. So
yeah. I didn't see your message on here. Did you already type it?
I was just half typed.
Oh, okay. Welcome, Claire. Welcome, Lisa.
Hello there. Sorry, I'm a little late.
That we will forgive you. So what we're doing right now is I found out that a bunch of the ladies are in the process of making a board or haven't made a board yet this year. And so I'm talking more about how to make a board first, and then we'll get into what to do with your board. So just to get some idea, Lisa and Claire, have you made a board yet this year?
Yes.
Yes, Claire, no. Okay. Have you ever made a board, Claire?
Yes, last year.
Perfect. Okay. So having a new board is a good idea. Boards can be living boards, and that means that they can be constantly added to. Like Kirsten said, she wants to keep adding to last year's board. That's possible. I personally like to do a new board every year. That's just my style. But some people have living boards that continuously grow. One thing that I'll share later, I was going to share later, but I'll share right now, is there is a benefit to having a board that completes, because you're going to be writing on the back some of the accomplishments that are happening or have had happened. And so we're going to get to a certain point where it's like, oh, I have no more room. And I encourage you, don't pull off of your board any of the images that have happened, because there's some benefit to looking at the image and going, nailed it, I did that, that's working for me, especially if it's something that's like a process. Let's see, I know that Kirsten will laugh at this one. We've got the queen crown here, and that was on there before I even named a group of us the Queen's Council. It was kind of just a little group of us that went to Vegas. But that, and then the Living for Greatness, this is really, last year, was really important to me. And it's funny because my business advisor, I'll show you, she didn't know about it, but look what she gave me for Christmas. So it's funny how the crown keeps coming up. The crown is part of my numerology as well. With my numerology, I have a lot of the crown in it. And so keeping it on there helps me to continue to be in that way So keep the things on there. Plus you get to look at it and go, yeah, I did that, I did that, I did that. And it boosts that confidence. So one thing that when you make your board, the first thing you should do is write the date on the back of the board of when this started. And so if you, for the people that were at the Janika Whitney's 4th annual Vision Board event, they would write January 22nd was the day they made their board. For the people that were at the Burnaby Board of Trades event that I spoke at, then you would write on there February 2nd. If you're making it, whatever date you make it, put the start date on the back. That's kind of telling the world and manifesting out to the world, this is where I want things to be. And this is like the gun going off, bang, start dates happened. And so I just noticed that Kristen has joined us. Kristen, I can't see your face though. I see your ceiling and now I see half your body. There we go. Hi, Kristen. Can you hear me? Doesn't want us to see her. Okay, well, I'm just gonna type in there, Kristen, can you see and hear us? And hopefully she will be able to take her hand off the camera. Okay, so I talked a little bit about the importance of looking to all areas of life. That's the first thing. The second thing is to make sure you've got the being and the doing. So that's the coaching style I was taught in, coactive coaching. You want to be in being and you want to be in doing. And the benefit of that is the doer is going to get stuff done. The beer is going to make sure the stuff you're doing is the right stuff. Make sense? You don't want to be in one over the other, because if you're in doing mode all the time, you don't ever have that moment where you get to like chill and really know that you're processing everything that's happening and you're shutting down the little voices and you're not allowing any emotions to come through. And really emotions just tell us how we're feeling about things. And so when you get that opportunity to be in the being, you feel more grounded, you're trusting the process a little bit more, and you're knowing that every step you're taking is actually the right step and feels a lot better for you. And as I said, I don't know if Claire and Lisa, you were around, yell out, say my name, say, can I ask something, if you have something that you want to say. Okay? At any point, because this is one of those living, breathing sort of webinars, not one where the person just yells a whole bunch of stuff at you and then hopes that you paid attention and stayed awake. Okay? Good, so those are the first two things. Next, when you're picking the stuff for your board, you're going to pick obviously some of the very specific goals that you have. So if you want to have be a certain level in your company, or make a certain amount of money, or have a certain car, or travel to a certain destination, then by all means find the very specific image of that. However, also make sure you're capturing how you want to feel, and allow the unconscious part of you to pick the things that it likes. And so I'll just hold this year's board up. It's almost done, but what stands out to you if you just have a quick look? What stands out to you on the board?
Pink.
Pink? Yeah. What else?
Passion.
Passion. So less about words and more just about like images and that. What stands out?
Very feminine.
Feminine. Okay. You see this woman's face here?
Yep.
Do you think I have any goal to look like her?
No.
No. Do you think there was something about like, oh, makeup? No. Hi, Carrie. Welcome.
Hi.
You here? Good. Okay. Carrie, just so you know, please yell out any questions that you have. This is an interactive webinar. And right now I'm talking about how to design your board, and then we'll talk about how to manifest more from your board. Okay. So this woman, I was flipping through the pages and went, oh, there's something about her that I like. That also happened with this deck and the bubbles and the girl running around. And this also happened with, it's partially covered, but it also happened with this image of this like woman flying at the top of a circus with shower heads raining on her, and she's all colorful. There is no way that I wrote down a goal for any of those things. However, unconsciously, there was something that went, take that picture, take that image. And so I encourage you to have, yes, what you want to be and do in every area of life, but also allow for the unconscious to be part of it. Okay, so just trust that you like this image for some reason, and you can get a little bit deeper as to why. So I'll just, talk a little bit more than about these ones. So the mesmerize, this actually says mesmerize with this woman. And I thought I was mesmerized. I did kind of look at her and go, ooh, and she caught my attention. And then as I look at her more, there's that feeling of mystery and inviting and attracting and holding someone's attention, glamour, being bold. There's so much more there. And so there's a strong essence around her. With this patio and that, I actually realized later that it looks like what the deck would look like on my future self's house. And so for anyone, that was at the 4th annual Vision Board event that I spoke at, in the beginning, there was a future self visualization that happened. And this is something that I do with my clients. And I think you would know about this too. And so in this visualization, you're taken to your future self's house. And you get to see the house and meet your future self, and it's really cool. And I realized after, this is what the deck would have looked like, because my future self's house is on the side of a mountain, and this is on the side of a mountain, and has 2 levels of windows in the back of the house, which would have matched up to this, because then you would probably have a deck going out. So it wasn't until I looked at it more, and then just the playfulness of the little girl running around, and so trust your brain to pick the goal setting stuff, but also trust your soul, your heart, your intuition to pick the images that speak to you, and then allow yourself later to kind of go back and sit with them and just see what they really mean. So Kiri, I'm just gonna rename you because you have something else on there. Okay. And I'm just gonna mute you, Kiri, and you unmute yourself if you wanna speak, okay? Because you have a dog in the background. You must be at home. Okay, so does that make sense around trusting your unconscious to pick images for you?
Yeah.
And words, and I'll tell you one that I find a little bit cheeky here. Some of you I might have already told this. Do you see? I know it's backwards, but I'll read it for you if you need to. Move over, Oprah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Sandra. So move over, Oprah, for me is pretty ballsy to put on my board. And it's not that I want to kick Oprah out of her spot. It's how that made me feel when I read it. I was like, oh my goodness, can I really put that on my board? And the things on your board should kind of scare you and push you out of your boundaries. And so last year's board, she's still there, there's a picture of Oprah. And then this year, it says move over, Oprah. And so I've gone from maybe the feeling of I aspire, or she's my mentor, or I really love what she's doing, to, hey, kind of like, give me some room on the couch. I'm coming in with you. And so pick things that also give you that uncomfortable feeling, things that stretch you, not just, oh, it's realistic that I have a book of Oprah because I could read the book. Like, stretch yourself. Is there something that you guys have put on a past board that has kind of surprised you when you found it, or has stretched you? Nothing? You've just played it safe?
A house.
Sorry, who just spoke? Lisa, was that you?
Nope.
Who was it?
Just me.
Kiri, you want to speak?
Never done one before.
Never done one. Okay. So for Sandra and Kiri, what we're doing right now is I'm talking about how to make a vision board. And then later on, we're going to go through more about how to magnetize using your board, because I found that a lot of people on the call don't have a board done or have it half done. Okay. Or you were like Monique and you were at the Burnaby Board of Trades Vision Board event that I spoke at, but we had such limited time that I had to really condense everything. Okay. So Kiri's never done one. No worries. You get all this lovely information now. Okay. So at any point, Sandra, ask a question or type in the side. I'm kind of leaving between boards and taking questions and comments from you guys. So this is as if we're actually in a room together. Okay. So recap again, choose stuff from all areas of life, the being and the doing, how you want to feel and what's going to happen. Choose from your brain of what am I specifically looking for, and then choose unconsciously using kind of your intuition to know, oh, for some reason this image is exciting for me. And it can be even strange things like, I have a picture of citrus fruit. Not symbolic of really anything, but I used it just as a backdrop to put other things on. This said, read like never before last year. And I don't know why, but that was interesting to me. And I just allowed it to be there and trusted that something would come. And I actually went to a conference where I learned of a subscription-based site where they will read the book for you and give you a written and an audio like summary of the book where you can read it or listen to it in less than 12 minutes.
Wow.
And I thought, that's amazing, because if I could basically know the gist of a book every single day, I'm going to know which books I need to recommend to clients, and I'm going to know which books I actually want to spend time reading. And so read like never before. It kind of fits, right? And so, as well as other things like I liked this purple pump and I liked this set of cups, teacups, which, you know, whatever. And again, you see the coloring on this one, pink, lots of pink. That's fine. I feel like the last few years I brought in a lot more of the feminine. Flowers, pink cup, but the same like pink bouquets of flowers seem to go through all of my images. And so I just look for how I can bring that more into my life. And usually that comes in when I do any of my workshops. I like to have bouquets of flowers there. And oftentimes the pink is the combination. What's the name of that service that reads books for you? I'd be happy to gift you a month, Kirsten, if you'd like. Anybody else want to be gifted a month of checking this thing out?
Sure.
Okay.
Yes, please.
I would, because I don't want to do a huge promotion for this company, just message me if you'd like a subscription, and I'm able to give out so many of these subscriptions to test it out. And so just send me an email that says, send me the book service that reads books for you. And I'll do that. I'll share. Especially for the people that are live here, you'll get first dibs because I can only hand out so many. Okay, so we've got a lot around how to pick the images for your board. So a lot of that's on this board was all done kind of in the gut, in the intuition. And now I have to put very specific things on because it doesn't have international speaker, best-selling author. It doesn't have my very specific SMART goals. And you guys know the acronym for SMART goals, right? Specific, say it out loud, you know it. What's the M? Measurable. Attainable. R. Realistic. T.
Time-bound.
Time-bound or timely. And then there's smarter goals. What's the E? Evaluation. And then R.
Results.
Revise. And so it makes sense. I'm going to mute you, Carrie. You're okay there. It makes sense that if you're looking at your board and something doesn't feel right anymore, take it off. That's why I call them living boards, because You're allowed to take off if something doesn't fit for you anymore. So maybe, let's say, move over Oprah. Maybe I feel like I've really stepped into my ego and I don't like it. And now this move over Oprah is not serving me in a positive way. I could pull it off. Okay? Now, when you're picking stuff, please don't make two mistakes. One, being too specific. And by too specific, I mean you have many images of the same model because you're talking about wanting a specific, like you want a man in your life. And so you're so specific that you even chose many images of the same man. Well, don't do that. And if you don't want a certain car, don't pick that car to be on here because you never know, it possibly will come to you. Now, I did meet a woman who actually went on a date with the guy that was on her vision board as a model, and she married him. Now, that's a fluke, possibly. But the thing is, if you're telling the universe, this specific guy I want, there's a chance he's already married, or he's gay, or he's passed away, or he's across the world, or he's a douchebag, right? And you just don't want any of these things. So yes, that is not a picture of my husband and I. Ideally, that'd be nice to have on there, but it's the essence of that image. Plus, you notice in the love and lust, the romance section, I also don't have a picture of me by myself. So if you want to go on vacation, don't have a picture of just you on vacation. Unless you want to go by yourself, and that's great. So you could choose a tropical place. Here, I just didn't put anybody. You can choose a image of where you want to go and then actually cut yourself and your family out and stick it on top. Or at least the back of people's heads in the number of people that you want there. Be specific in that way, but don't be too specific that you've limited yourself. So that's the one error. The other error is to have conflicting images. Okay, I'm gonna spin my computer. You can see my board here. Do you see the baby photos? Little babies?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, and do you also see the woman in the bottom corner with a nice body? How am I gonna have a baby and a six-pack? Pick one. Pick one. So I leave that board up there, and now I clip my other boards in front of it. And so don't have two things that are conflicting. So if you want peace and calm, and you also want to be flying around the world and working everywhere and doing all, like, they're conflicting. And so how can you have them be balanced? Make sense?
Yeah.
So don't be too specific where you only could get exactly what it is. And then don't be conflicting in the two things that you put on there. I'm just trying to see if I have any other conflicting things on mine. I've kind of learned my lesson over the years. Okay. Another thing that you can do with your board, if you've already done your board, don't worry about it. But for the future, you can feng shui your board. And I'm not going to talk about where to put everything. All you need to do is Google feng shui your board, your vision board. What that means is there are, just like you feng shui a room, there are specific quadrants of a room that are based on certain areas of life. So in my board, I also try to put things in the quadrant that they're supposed to be in. For example, relationship, like love, and that it is here, and I think fame is on the top, and health, or anyway, they're all in the right places. So all I did was I took my board before I started sticking it on, and I went online and I Googled it, and then I took my pencil and I wrote on the board where things go. And as I found images, I just kind of placed them on top, and then I started gluing them down after. So if you really want to do that, that is a good thing to do. Why not? I know that once I started to feng shui the different rooms in my house, it made a huge difference, at least in how I feel. And so if you are looking to do that, I will give a shout out to Kim Easterbrook, who so amazingly did mine. And I appreciate just little things like having my back to a wall actually is better for me in working, because I used to have my desk flipped and my back open to the room. And I feel like I have much more confidence and power sitting in this place with the back against the wall. So just one little thing. Okay, so now we kind of have an idea of how to put everything on the board. And I've said, don't take things off the board unless they don't match with you anymore. If you achieve something, what you're going to do is what I showed on this board, is you're going to write the date that you achieved it. And write the date of any other awesome things that happened. So at the end of the year, you can look at the back of your board and go, wow, look at all the things I achieved last year. And for anyone who is in, who has taken the Dynamic Year program.
Yeah.
A few of you, yeah. Claire, you have. And what you can do is, this is one way of capturing all those accomplishments, rather than having to get to the end of the year and go, oh, I don't remember what I did. So if you write them on the back, it also is that boost of confidence when you're sitting there going, I don't know if I've really done much so far this year. Or, oh, I'm having such a crappy day, I'm not really doing well. Well, then get your board and go to the back of it. Okay, any questions about how to create a board? Any comments?
A question.
Yeah.
What do you do with your old boards?
I keep them.
Do you keep them up?
So you saw that frame I had on the wall. Bad idea to frame your board, first of all. But I thought it would be so nice to permanently have it in my room in a beautiful frame. The trouble is, and I'll talk about this later, but you can't touch the board. It's hard to take down and touch and look at. And so actually all I did was I rigged up. I put 2 of the big bulldog clips or whatever they're called on top. And then I clipped in 2 clips. And then I just clip my board. So it just hangs in front. And then I put the other one in front. And so I actually have like the framed one and then 2 others. But that's just because I've been using them a lot in the talks and stuff, but I'll probably end up packing them away. To me, it feels like a yearbook almost.
Yeah.
In a way. Yeah. What do you like to do with yours, Kirsten?
Well, I do actually have mine in a frame, but I was thinking you could just take the glass out of it too, and then it would be more living, like more changeable.
Yeah. It's just hard to write on the back.
Yeah, you'd have to take it off. But it's actually not hanging on the wall. It's sitting on my desk in the frame.
Oh, wow.
I could turn it over.
Yeah. And one thing you also could do is just take a picture of it. I always have a picture on my phone of my board because I do the Miracle Morning and I can look at my phone. Some days when if I'm traveling, I can look at it rather than have to actually bring my board with me. So that's another thing, is just take a picture. And then at the end of the year, if you're one of those, like, I can't deal with clutter, chuck it, but have a picture of it, and making sure you take a picture of the back of all your accomplishments so that you have just those so that you can look back on them.
Good idea.
Yeah, Maria.
What do you think about, like, would it be an option to like make like almost a copy of it and have it in different rooms or different places?
You could. I don't know how you'd copy it that big.
Yeah.
You could take a picture and then blow that up.
Yeah. What size do you have? Is it just like a poster board size?
I use a big poster board. Now, one of the speakers at the 4th annual one, she made one this big so that she could keep it in her purse.
Yeah.
And I've spoken with friends who actually do like a little book.
Yeah.
Like one that they can carry around and things, you know.
Books too. And you could do a page for each area of life if you wanted.
Yeah.
And some people do one board for their business and one board for their life. Another thing is some people don't like cutting and pasting. And so you can create a collage on one of the sites like Canva, PicMonkey, one of these free design sites. You could, but in that case, you've lost that unconscious flipping of a magazine and grabbing stuff that pulls you. You've lost that part, but maybe you're scrolling through Pinterest instead, grabbing images that pull you. So you can do it on one of those, and then you actually have one. Again, you can't touch it. You can't write anything on the back, so you just have to adjust it. I know other people that do a PowerPoint and have one image per slide or one area of life per slide, and then click through when they want to look at it. So that's another option for those more digital tech savvy people. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of options to make a board that feels right for you. So if you haven't made a board yet, pick a day or a deadline and get it made. Or if you're not done it, pick a deadline, because you're missing out on days, weeks, months of this year that you could be manifesting more. Okay, any other questions about how to make a board? Okay, once you've made your board, your next step is to think of on your board, what is the first goal that you will achieve? And there's going to be two different kinds. There's going to be goals that have a very specific measurable result and date. And then there are going to be goals that are process goals. For example, if you're losing weight, it's like, hey, this amount of weight lost by this date, or I want to run a marathon by this date. And then the process goal would be exercising 3 times a week, drinking 8 glasses of water, eating healthy, because that's something that consistently happens over time rather than a result. So I want you to pick a result-based goal and think, when am I going to accomplish that? So let's see. What on mine am I going to mention now? Okay, indulge your passions. And so if I was looking at that at the beginning of the year, one of my passions actually is being creative and being artsy. And when I was little, I used to be the one in the neighborhood that would organize the little craft things that we were going to do. And I'd make the binoculars out of 2 toilet paper rolls. And I was always creating something. And so one of my passions and one of the things I really want to do this year is to be more creative. And so if a few weeks ago I was like, hey, I'm going to be more creative, and then I'm going to do a paint night with my girlfriends. And so actually Kiri was there. And so I would write on there, paint night with girlfriends, and I would pick a deadline of when that would happen, or ideally when I was going to do that. And so if your goal is run 5K, then put the date that you're going to achieve that. So even though you haven't achieved it yet, what it's doing is it's putting out into the universe, hey, I'm going to do this. And when you write it down, you know that you're a lot more, what?
Focused.
Committed and focused, yeah. A lot of the people I work with, what happens is they commit to others, they keep priorities to others, but not to themselves. And so if your very first goal, put it on your board and pick a date as to when you're going to achieve it. Very powerful when you can do that. Okay, I'm just going to see if there's anything else around making a board that I wanted to share before we get through into how to manifest the board. And I am going to go till 1:30. I don't know if some places it said 12 till 1, and so I'm just letting you guys know. And if you do have to drop, I don't know what happened. I moved my screen and I disconnected myself. So I'm back, and I hope that what we did before wasn't deleted. And if it was, well, I'm sorry. Nothing I can do now about it, right? Okay, so my voice was frozen and Monique had to leave. Okay, yes, watch the recording. Now everything's
Okay.
recorded again. Oh, you're still there, Monique. Okay, hi.
3 minutes.
3 minutes. Okay. Any specific questions that you have for me, or any comments or anything?
Good recap and refresher, but I'm really intent on learning about the manifestation. So please let me know the next time we can get together for that.
Well, I'm going to be recording it, and so I'll send you the recording.
Okay. Thank you very much, everyone.
Okay.
Nice
And
to
feel
meet
free
you.
to ask me questions after if I didn't have any questions on it, okay?
Thank you very much.
Okay, take care, Monique. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Ha ha ha. Okay, I covered everything. Good. So that's how to make a board. Done. Let me open my other folder. Here we go. Okay, so what we want to do is I'm going to take you through how to actually use your board. So what ends up happening is so many people, did someone else just join us? Lisa? Oh, that's Lisa. Okay. So many people will actually have a board, and then it just becomes a really nice piece of art, or it becomes a dust collector or a craft project or forgotten. And so I've heard of clients, they're like, oh, I'm like, how's your vision board going? And they're like, oh, my vision board actually, I think it fell behind my desk. Or I don't know, my kids had it in their room. Or I had to put it in the closet because somebody was coming to stay with me. And actually that's a funny thing is my in-laws came to stay with us, and I had my vision board on the wall, and things like, which board? It was this board that says, oh, where was it? Anyway, it basically said like great sex life. I think it fell off. It said great sex life, and it was right above where the guest bed goes when my in-laws come to stay. But it was also up when my mom was here, and it started a really nice conversation with my mom. And so I encourage you to really make this board a part of your life. And so I'll get into a little bit more about how to do that. So we want to be able to have it be a catalyst for your year rather than just something that blends in. We want it to be a powerful tool that when used properly, it will bring you what you want. It'll help you to stay focused and motivated. And so first we're going to look at how to increase your focus, your motivation, and your goals. Okay, so we wrote down the date. So again, you write down the date on the back of your board that you start. Next step is to share about your board. So to tell somebody. So the next thing you can write on the back is, who are you going to share your board with? Who? Is it a girlfriend of yours? Is it your partner? Is it your downline? Is it your colleagues? Is it your mentor? Is it your coach? Who are you going to share your board with? And this is not just like a one-off, here's the person I share with. Make a date at least quarterly with them. And it can be, let's grab a bottle of wine and our boards and hang out. Or let's go for dinner and talk about our boards. Whatever it is, make sure you can look at the board as you talk about it. So to be able to, let's go another way. Okay. So here I would talk about my board. Here I have a summer place, and I want to get to a point where I'm either going home every summer to see my family, or I actually have a place I go in the summer, like a cabin, a cottage, a specific hotel that I always visit. And so you're saying more about what each thing is. Give. The word give is important to me because I want to be giving love to my kids. I want to be giving to the people that I work with. I actually have built giving into my business now so that I can give more and it not negatively impact my business. So you're explaining what the words mean, but you're also explaining how they feel and what that looks like. And so you're giving more details. And you'll find that when you give more details to things, you become clearer about what that means. And every time you explain it to someone, even if it's a different or the same person, new things will come out. Oh, this now means to me. This now means to me. Just like the crown on that board, it changed what it meant to me every time I talked about it. And sometimes it was about what I was doing, and sometimes it was about how I was feeling, or what I was achieving. It kind of kept changing. And so those of you who have a board right now, and Sandra, I know you have a board, why don't you, would you like to share one thing off your board?
I don't have mine handy. I might have a picture. I'm going to look. Probably do.
I can probably pull up a picture from Facebook.
Oh, yeah, we had a picture.
Yep. How about Kirsten, do you want to share something on your board?
Something on my board that
That
I
you
want
want to share?
to explain.
Yeah.
Well, I guess this is my board. I don't know if you can see it. There you go. But
Nice.
there's some blanks in there.
Yeah.
The one thing that was neat that happened was the speaker one, that I put that speaker with the microphone, and
Yeah.
that happened this year. So that was good. And this has no words on it, but stopping to smell the roses.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, one of the questions I just typed in was, maybe I need less words and more images. Because I am attracted to the words. But
Yeah.
is that what you intended?
What?
Well,
Well,
what you wanted?
well, pick something on there and tell us about it. Like, what does think tank mean to you?
Okay, sure, thank you. Yeah, the think tank was really to me about group thinking, group brainstorming, learning from others, and being in those situations where I'm learning in a group situation, kind of like we are here right now.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. And so maybe in a couple of months, when she explains it again to someone, it might be like, think tank now means this, or I actually started a think tank. And then the person listening can go, well, did you write that on the back? Oh, no, I didn't. Well, when did I start that? Let's look at my calendar. Well, I met them on this day. And so started think tank on, April 1st.
Yeah.
And then so you're writing down. So as you're talking with the person, you're also recognizing the accomplishments you've had. And then you're able to say, and now with the think tank, this is happening and this is how I feel. And I realize this. And so things can change.
Mm-hmm.
The meaning of things can change. Or, mine that says indulge your passions. So I talked about the painting. And then maybe I realize I have another passion for something else. I have a passion for clean eating. And I indulged that in doing it, and then I led my own group of people through it, and now I have an opportunity to collaborate on doing it. And so it's like, oh, how else can I indulge my other passions, or what are my other passions? So it might bring up questions. And so as you're sharing with someone, get them to ask you more questions about the things. So I encourage you to kind of maybe this could take hours. And so maybe jump back and forth, and you can even focus on the areas of life. So maybe you both do a romance quadrant, and then maybe you both do, Sandra, I'm just, and then maybe you do the health quadrant, and then you do, so you can keep changing the quadrants around and kind of back and forth sharing the different information. And then you might even grab some, like, wow, you talked a lot about connection with friends, and I just talked about hanging out with friends, but really what I want is that connection. And so maybe you just write that word on, or you add that in, or you go, yes, I actually have that. And so now I'm going to write that as an accomplishment on the back. I said that I would have more connection with my girlfriends, and my girlfriend just confided something in me. So obviously we have connection. Or, we just had a girls' weekend, and so that's an accomplishment. I'm going to write that down. Okay. So now you get the idea about how to share. So pick someone, and hopefully they pick you too, and encourage them to make a board so that you can be in it together, and then just share. And it just, you can decide how often you want to share. If it's somebody that you meet with often, maybe you just want to do one quadrant every time you meet as a kind of recap. Or you want to say, okay, just take 5 minutes and talk about anything that comes up for you from your board. So if you have like a weekly meeting with someone, then that might work for you. Okay. So, oh yeah, Kirsten, would you suggest 90% images and 10% words? It's up to you. It's really up to you. I like a mix because words can direct you in a certain way. Also, words that you choose from a magazine can actually put you into a place that you didn't think of originally. Like this one says powerful potions, and I'm like, what's that mean? I don't know. I'm open to what that means. But I like the powerful, I like potion, just that idea of kind of things being a bit magical. And that's where, when I get on stage, I feel like I manifest and I really like pull this, my full purpose and my knowledge and my greatness, and it just all kind of floods out of me. Just like right now, if I was just doing this on video and you guys weren't here, I don't think I'd be as good. I know I wouldn't be as good. I wouldn't be as engaged. I wouldn't be as interested or passionate, and so that's also part of it for me. So I like a mix personally. It just depends what type of learner you are, what you find. Sometimes the way to feel or the essence of something can't be captured in a word, and sometimes it perfectly can be captured in a word. You know, like how can you feel find the word bold other than the word? Maybe you can. Or international speaker. There's not many magazines that have a picture of somebody speaking. It's not as easy to find. So the words will tell it. Book being a bestseller. You can put a picture of a book, but how do you know it's a bestseller? So you maybe need the words. And don't stop yourself either from actually typing up words and printing it out, or just writing the words on yourself. That's allowed too. It's supposed to spark the way you share about it and spark your feeling when you are connecting with your board. Okay, so again, we talked about writing down the first goal that you're going to achieve. Write that on the back with the achievement date, because basically the universe loves speed, and you'll be surprised at how quickly things can happen when you put it on your board, when it's going to happen. Also, there's more energy and commitment and desire to have that happen because you've written it down. And then writing down all the achievements is kind of like a time capsule. It's going to be marking that progress, that growth you're going to see, and the times, the days that you're feeling a little bit down, like you haven't done much, it's going to have it all on there for you, especially to reflect on for years to come. You get to kind of go back and see what you wrote. Okay, any questions right now? No, we're good. Yeah, okay. Next, designing the most powerful habit for you to attract what you want. So let's just get a question time here for everybody. Where are you going to put your board?
I have it right above me in my desk here.
Right above you, good.
That's why I keep looking up.
In your desk, okay, yeah. How about others? Where are you going to put your board? You should really decide now.
My office.
Your office, okay.
Yeah.
Yes, office. A lot of people say office, office, office. Lisa?
Mine sits right beside me on the wall, beside where my computer is.
Okay, good. So that's basically your office by your computer. Sandra, where is yours?
My old one is in my bedroom, and I look at it every day as I'm getting dressed. So I think I might just put the new one there too. Right now it's in my office, but I think that's where I'll put it because I see that every day. I don't always go into my office downstairs.
Yeah, good. Good plan. So having it in a place where you can see it is crucial. So wherever that is, if it's beside your bed or in your office or wherever it is. I know for a while I had mine down by the fireplace because when I did my Miracle Morning, I'd sit right in front of the fire with all the lights off and I'd have my board right there. And then I took a picture of it and then I just used to look at it on my phone so that I could see it. Or if I had a few minutes between things, you know, you're sitting at the doctor's office, that sort of thing, I'd look at my board then. Just kind of, you know, expand and look at certain parts of it and then scroll and expand on another part and I'd look at it. Now, how often are you going to review it?
Should be every day.
So it should be every day, but are you going to look at it every day?
Every other day. Realistically, every other day.
Most powerful is morning and night. Most powerful. Now, we have to be ready to say what you're actually going to commit to, though. And so if you're committing to Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or every morning, or every Sunday night, the more you review it, the more powerful it'll be, because it'll be front of mind. I don't know how many times goals have been written down, boards have been made, whatever is done, and you get, months later and you go, oh crap, I forgot about that. Oh, right, I said I would do that. Well, I haven't done anything for it. Or you miss opportunities because you don't realize what could have been happening. You don't, also by not looking at it, you're not planting the seed to drive the motivation to make it happen. Okay, so this one, I had these ones. You can see the home with the floors. So every time I looked at that, I was like, right, I want new floors. Well, it wasn't me doing new floors, it was my husband doing new floors. And so by looking at it often, I was reminded to be planting seeds in his mind. Okay, and to do things like, oh, maybe we're already going down to like Abbotsford or wherever we picked up the flooring. We're already going that way. Why don't we stop in at the flooring place that's there? By me talking about it, when the commercial for the King of Floors came on, my husband said, maybe we should go there. And then we, thought about getting the floors. And then when I made my budget, it was like, well, where do the floors fit in? And so everything, like my mind was starting to think about the floors. And then, oh, your friend's coming to visit. Oh, or no, it was more like, my friend is going to come and stay here with us for 2 weeks. And I was like, awesome. So it's going to be like bros drinking beer all day. This is terrible. But I was like, oh, your friend's coming to visit. He's like, is that okay? And I'm like, sure, maybe he can help you with the floors. So I started to see more opportunities. And then it turned out that I was like, you know what? It's kind of stupid you doing floors with 2 kids and me around and you working a 9 to 5. So why don't you do it when we're in Ontario visiting family? So it was like, because I kept being reminded about the floors, I was able to piece together what worked best in a longer timeline because I was talking about it earlier, thinking about it earlier. Even though the floors didn't happen months down the road, there were little opportunities that I saw along the way. Okay, so I'll tell you about why it's good in the morning, or maybe you guys can tell me, you probably can. Why is it good to look at your board in the morning?
It sets your intention or your goals for the day, your thoughts for the day.
Yeah, sets your intention for the day. What else?
That's when you're most focused, is first thing in the morning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When you review your schedule for the day, that type of thing.
Yeah. So it motivates you. It inspires you. It keeps you focused. Okay, so you're sitting there working on something that's hard and you go, oh, man, this is hard. This sucks. But you've just looked at the image of the result of that hard work. So I don't want to, I know, Kirsten, you were talking about being a speaker. So it's like, I don't want to make the cold calls to see if they want to hire me. I don't want to make my speaker one-pager. I don't want to create this talk and practice it. But if in the morning you were looking at the images of the results, the images of you on stage and the images of people clapping and the images of the money and the images of the book or whatever else went with it, you then can sit in that image rather than sit in the hardship of the process. The process isn't always fun, right? So the another thing you can do with your board is make it interactive. You can tell mine's got a bit of use out of it. But I didn't feel good about the body being on there because I'm not body focused. I'm not skinny body focused. That's why the healthy is right across her waist there. But she's got a little dress on. It says it's time. You lift it up, and then it's time for what? To get healthy and have the fit body. And so why was I bringing this up? On the days that I'm like, man, I don't want to eat green stuff anymore. I just want to eat those strawberries. I just want to eat that cake. And by strawberries, I mean just because I cut sugar out completely, all natural sugar. I just want to eat that cake. I just want to have the convenience of ordering whatever off the menu that I want. Or not telling people that are having me for dinner to change what they're feeding me because of my needs. And then I go, I'm sitting in this image, the result that it'll give me, even though that seems so far off. So it reinstates that intention that I had, the motivation for it, because processes can feel really, really hard. Yeah, makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then so that's if in the morning. It's also going to help you the time that you're scrolling through Facebook, those times, or you're doing something that you shouldn't be doing. It helps you to answer the question, am I doing the most important thing right now? And then your brain goes, well, what are the most important things? And then you can relate back to your goals and your goal. So it'll help you to be more focused in what you're supposed to be doing rather than procrastinating with other things that are not on your board. So that's in the morning. Then it's going to also help you to review it in the evening. Any idea why?
So you can dream about it overnight.
Yeah, that's a big thing. Yeah, so it puts it into your subconscious so that these images are replaying in your mind. Also, it's the time that your brain is processing everything, and it might not have clicked in that there was an opportunity in the day to speak to somebody or to be part of something that would then get you to one of your goals. You maybe didn't click in. And so in the night, your brain's processing through all the information. And then in the morning, you maybe wake up and go, oh my gosh, this or that. Also, at the end of the day, you can take stock of how your day was. By looking at it, you go, oh my gosh, I totally was in my power today. I totally followed this thing that says health matters. I have on here like thank you and give and how did I give today? So it sets up the questions. So a lot of people write their accomplishments down, what they're grateful for. It helps you to sit in that place of what was something good about my day? Who was I being today that I am proud of? What did I accomplish? How did I get closer to my goals? You're now looking at your board and it's helping to kind of bring stuff up for you. And it doesn't mean you have to go through every image, every word on your whole board. You might just scan and see what stands out for you. Go from there. Okay, so that's doing it in the evening. So right now, pick how often, once a day, so many times a week, in the morning, in the evening, for how long, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 2 minutes. Let's get a couple of you guys sharing when and how. When and how.
Mine will be daily in the morning when I do the miracle morning as well.
Awesome. Okay.
For myself at night, because I do meditation in the morning, and then just before I go to bed, I do another meditation. So, and I like to review and put away things that are running around in my head from the day. I like to put that away and then set my intention for the next day right before I go to bed. So, so that's something that I've learned over the last few months that I've been at the pain clinic. So that's really sorted my day.
Nice.
Yeah.
One more.
I'm going to try this morning and night. This is Lisa talking. I'm going to try the morning and night. Usually I do look at it at some point in the day, but I don't have a set schedule or reason why I do that. But the other thing I have started doing new this year in January, I have one of those calendars that lays everything out in one flat format. and it's a dry erase calendar. So I write on it every night. So right now, my biggest goal is getting healthier and exercising every day.
Mm-hmm.
So every single night, I review what I've done that week, and I write down what I did that day.
Awesome.
And it's a different format. It's not a regular calendar. So between that and my vision board, I think I'm kind of on a different track right now.
Cool. Love it. And what is something that everybody does or should do every morning and every night?
Set your intention.
I'm speaking of like have to do. Would be good if everyone did that. Morning and night, everybody brushes their teeth.
Yeah.
Hopefully. And so if you have your board in your office, then just bring your toothbrush in and be brushing your teeth. And staring at your board for a minute, 2 minutes, however long that you brush your teeth for. But that's an option on days that you can't sit and actually work on it. You can just stare at it. That's just an idea of a time. Or if you're sitting and eating your breakfast, you can look at it. And so just bring it into a natural habit that you're already doing and link the habit, brushing your teeth and looking at your board, eating your breakfast or drinking your coffee, riding the train, and looking on your phone at your board. Just have it be part of something you already do. Waiting for your kid to get out of school at the end of the day, look at your board. Just have some link to a habit. I don't want to say it's like a parasite, but go off of a habit you already have. Okay, and then quickly, how do you review it? I like to hold it in my hands and really internalize. You know, you can touch the pictures and the images. You can have, like I had the dress that lifted up, you can have it be interactive. See yourself actually living in those. So do some visualization of like, sit there and be like, oh, and I'm laying on that beach and it's warm and my toes are in the sand and I can hear the water. Like actually put yourself in that moment. Or I am, you know, I'm being playful and I'm joking and I'm laughing around and jumping around and just see whatever it feels like. Put yourself there. What else would I want to share? Believe it's already yours. That's another cool thing. So when you can speak in I am doing a retreat and I'm poolside and everybody's sitting on their lounge chairs and we've got this beautiful spread of healthy foods and everyone has their journal and we're taking some time. So actually like talk it out as if you're there. And be grateful for the good that's already happened. So, wow, I am doing that and I'm grateful for that. And I'm grateful I met this person and I had this opportunity and be in that gratitude space. And then really believe that you can be there. So don't let the saboteur step in and say, that's not realistic that you can do a retreat poolside in like Mexico. That could never happen. Just stand in like, well, how can it happen? I believe that I am able to put that together. I just haven't figured out when yet, and I haven't figured out how yet, but I believe it'll happen. And so sit in actually that you're there. Okay, and this is where I want to grab you guys, and we're going to identify how you can become a stronger player in your own vision. So it's, you might have to watch this part back or write it down and do it later once your board is done. And so what skills do you have to use to achieve what's on your board? Or think of just some goals that you have this year. What are the skills that you need to have in order to achieve what's on your board? So the ones you already have, I mean, like what skills do you have that you need to use in order to achieve what's on your board? So what are some skills that you guys have that will help you achieve your goals? Which ones? You guys don't know what skills you have? You do.
And then I'm in the middle of a whole career change right now. So those are things that I'm having to reapply.
But I'm not saying like, oh, you know how to use Excel. Like not that, like ways of being. Are you creative, organized, joyful, connector?
Yeah.
So what are you, Connie? You have all of these things. That doesn't change.
I'm a great encourager.
You're a great encourager.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. Maria, what's one of yours?
Motivated, positive.
Nice. Sandra?
Organized, detailed.
Nice. Kiri, I've lost your video and you're muted. I'll unmute you. Kiri. We've lost her. Okay, I'll keep her unmuted. Claire, quality of yours that you're going to use moving forward.
Determination.
Determination. Good. Kirsten.
Adventurous, brave.
Brave and adventurous. Great. Lisa.
Mine all got taken.
Well, say one again.
Brave and adventurous would be
Brave and
my ones I'm working on for this month.
Good. So you can have a little Post-it note that you stick on your board with the skills that you currently have that will help you to reach your goals. Don't downplay anything that comes easy to you. I just met with a client this morning who is...
Westport Manufacturing, do they...
Oh, Kiri's here. I'm just going to...
What do they do? Obviously,
I just muted her. I don't think she is meaning to talk to us. So I just met with someone this morning who didn't realize how great at, like, basically customer service. She is amazing at customer service. And so that's really relationship building. And so don't downplay anything that comes easy to you. Are you organized? Are you planned? Are you creative? Are you playful? Whatever it is. I know, Kirsten, I always throw that in there for you. Whatever it is, capitalize on those skills. So when you look at something, you say, how am I going to do that? Look back at your list of skills you already have and apply them. That's the easiest way. So maybe you're like, oh my gosh, I said I would be mesmerizing and I don't know how to be mesmerizing. Well, what do you know? You know that you're determined. Okay, so I'm determined, so I'm going to keep trying. Or I am encouraging, so maybe I could get encouragement from somebody else. I could be in a relationship where we encourage each other. I'm brave, so I'm just going to try stuff. And if I fail, whatever. Okay, so if you don't already have what's on there, what you want to achieve, how can you use a quality that you already have, that you're working, that you have working and knowledge in, to make it happen? So maybe you're like, oh, my relationship doesn't have love and lust, but I'm a good planner. So I'm going to plan some things that encourage and develop some love and lust, right? So use another skill so that you can make the things happen. Next, what skills do you want to use or want to develop to help you achieve your goals? So maybe you're like, oh, if I could just be more structured, if I could just be more productive, if I could have more focus, I would achieve these a bit more. So what skills do you want to help you to achieve your goals? You have the ones that are naturally coming to you, and then you have these other ones that you know, like, if I just use these. And so maybe it is being a bit braver, having more courage because you know you have a lot of phone calls to make. Or maybe it's being more playful because you're a little bit too structured and organized and focused. And it's stressful. And you have a lot of peace and calm elements on your board. Or maybe you know you need to be consistent because a lot of your goals are process goals where you have to continuously do something every day. Okay. Right now, you maybe have a list of a few. How many have you listed?
I have 2 for sure. And they're the 2 that you mentioned, being consistent, more structured.
Okay. How many do the rest of you guys have? How many skills that you want to use to help you achieve your goals?
4.
4?
Right.
Okay. So I encourage you guys to choose like 2 or 3 that you're going to commit to working on. So the ones you already have, it's just, here's a reminder to use these. And here's I have these, so I have the motivation to easily apply them in these different areas. That's going to come easy. So these other 2 or 3 skills that you're going to consciously work on. It's okay. I don't know how to do great time management. I don't know how to stay focused. So I'm just going to Google how to do it. And I'm going to put some structure into place in order to do it better. Or I'm going to read a book on it, or I'm like, do something to consciously turn that skill up, to make it, come into your life a little bit more. And for me, I can be creative. I just don't use it enough. And so maybe it's just, I have it, I just don't use it. And so I'm not that good at it. So every morning it's like, how can I be more creative today? What can I do to infuse creativity into the things that I'm looking to do? And really commit to it. So if time management or focus, productivity is one of yours, I just posted a video on my timeline linking to the Pomodoro technique, which is like one of my favorite things to talk about with people. So watch that video. That'll help with your focus and your time management. Okay. You guys have your little list of things that you want to, skills that you want to use. This is where you nod or you ask a question. That helps me to know we're all on the same track. Okay, awesome. And just remember, no one is perfect. We're all in process of becoming better. And so having the skills, just being aware that you want to enhance them a little bit is good. And just make simple changes. You don't have to put the pressure on yourself to be awesome at these skills, but just do something small to make a change every day. And that consistency is going to raise that skill for yourself. And then write that on a sticky note and put that on your board as well, so that you have your list of this, like the skills that are good for you that you already have that you can use, you can tap into at any time. And then the skills that you want to develop more. And even in reaching one of your goals, you might just use that skill to reach that goal. And so have them on there so that you can kind of keep them in mind. And that's going to help you to be a stronger player in your own goals, because you're the one that's making it happen. It's not well, I'm putting it out to the universe and, the secret, it's all going to come back to me. No, that's part of it, but you need to do. And if you can think about how you're being and the skills you're using, then it's going to help you to move those goals forward at a kind of an equal pace. Not always about the doing, it's sometimes just about the being. Okay. Let's take questions now. Questions, comments?
I think I've talked all the way through, so I'm good.
Not about talking too much, right?
Yeah, that's right. So I want to hear everyone else.
Tommy, that's a skill that you have. You're not afraid to speak up. You're not afraid to share.
Yeah.
And so that's also, leadership and communication skills.
Thank you.
Okay, Maria, were you going to say something?
Yeah, I just had a question. I didn't do a board last year. I kind of had written down some goals, but the year before I did a board, but we kind of did it as a family, and we kind of each had our own section, and we had it in the kitchen. But what are your thoughts on doing my own versus the family, even the kids had done one, and where to put it, or what everybody kind of how it incorporates our own, but also together?
Yeah, I think that's such a lovely idea. What is really cool is to have everyone do their own board first. Mm-hmm. So everyone's really clear about what they want.
Okay.
And then create a family board together.
Okay.
So you've already had the time to explore what you want, explore kind of the big picture of your life, and then it's how it all comes together.
Okay.
Because you might, for me, when I think about my life and family, I think about how I want to bring my kids to see their grandparents in Ontario. So that's from my thing. But then it's how does that now fit into their board?
Yeah.
I also have to see how does that fit into my board with my work and how I'm going to make that happen. And then it kind of makes it more concise when you put it on to the family board.
Okay.
Because then people can put on what they personally want and then what they want for your family.
Okay.
Yeah, that's awesome. I've heard of some families, that's what they actually do on New Year's Eve together. They, and what I would add in actually is New Year's Eve would be a great time to talk about the board from last year, to celebrate. If you had a joy jar or an achievement jar, to read those out, to read the back of everybody's board, and to really celebrate each other and the accomplishments. And then the next day, create that new board, because you've got the actual changing of the year helping you in marking that as like a ceremony of one ending and one beginning.
Yeah.
But now that we're in February, just do it. Other questions or comments? None? Okay. What was your biggest takeaway from today?
Write your achievements on the back of your board.
Yeah.
Good. Nodding. What's another takeaway from today?
Point the skills of what you have and what you want to develop.
Yeah. Awesome. What else? Other takeaways?
Being more intent on when and how often to look at it and interact with it.
Yeah.
I took 6 pages of notes. Little pages.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But all of the things that have already been said about intention and when to look at it and the skills and all those things. But I really liked your maybe it's because it's kind of playful, but the interactive part of making it open and close. And now I'm going to be like wanting to have interactive parts on my board.
Yeah, I had another one and it got ripped off by my kids.
So the other tip is put it up really high.
Yeah. This one was a picture of a woman floating with holding on to balloons.
Oh.
She was brightly colored and it was over top of this like Zen travel. So it was this like juxtaposition of the two. That's why I had it, but it's weird. I don't even know where it went. Yeah, so making your board interactive. You could even have things spring out.
Yeah.
All different stuff. Okay, what else? Takeaways. Anything else?
Make sure you don't put your conflicting images on your board.
Mm-hmm.
That one really stood out for me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Kiri, are you able to talk now? What was your, no, okay. Kiri's working away.
Oh, I've got another one. Results-based goals versus process goals.
Ah. And so you have both of them, right? There's results and there's process-based. So you've got both. Okay.
I have both, but I hadn't thought of it that way before.
Yeah, and the thing is that process goals, you need to be acknowledging your success along the way. So there's not one big like, whoa, or you make it like that, where it's like 100 days of consistently going to bed at 10 o'clock. Then you can be checking.
I've been trying that. I've been failing at that. So I have to do it for 100 days.
Well, you do whatever you want, right? Maybe it's just 30. And so for my clean eating, there was a process, but we put a date on it. I'm going to do this for 6 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
That felt hard and doable. And so I got to the end of the 6 weeks and I went, now what? My naturopath said, well, what do you now want to do? Because if I had made the decision to do 6 months, I never would have made the decision to do 6 months of clean eating in the beginning. Never. 7 weeks sounded harder than 6. And so when I got to the end of 6 weeks, I was in a different place. I was now in a place of belief and now having the benefits of it. And so if you start off with a small number that you feel is achievable, but is slightly hard, like 30 days, of going to bed at 10, then at the end of 30 days, you can now make a decision based on the new knowledge you have and the way you're feeling. And you probably have more belief in yourself, more confidence that it can happen, a bigger skill set. You have all the benefits of doing it, and so continuing it on.
Okay.
Claire, you want to go next? Did you say something? What was your biggest takeaway again?
Oh, I just said the skills.
Oh, right. Okay. Good. Okay. I just saw you gave a quiet to Chris, maybe. Okay. Well, ladies, we're at our time. I would love to see you guys post your boards and tag me. Yeah. So post your boards, tag me, and then be like, hey, here's my board. And tell me what you love about your board and how it makes you feel.
Okay.
Where do we post our boards to?
On your Facebook page.
Oh.
And tag me. That's the courageous step of putting it out there. Like, I've shared 3 of my boards with you. I've shared a lot of the private stuff too. So put it out there to the world. And tag me in it if that is too much. Actually, no, I'm not even going to give you a plan B. Just tag me in it so I can see it, and tell me how it feels to have it done and what you love about it. We hope you love your board. And just a small of what you can do now. You even want to be a stronger player in your own board, then I encourage you to join my Dynamic You program. Kiri is in it this round. I know that Claire was in it last round. This is how I did my book. And so it's a super program, and I'm going to say it's super because I had 22 women go through it, and I know that they had great results. And it's about standing in your most dynamic self and unleashing that dynamic woman in you by going through the 9 pillars of being a dynamic woman. And until Friday, I've extended the special pricing, $247 for a 6-week program where you get video modules. You get to have group calls like this with video. Everything is recorded if you're worried about not being able to kind of do things at the timing that it's given. And I'll tell you, the women have said it, it's made them more decisive. It's helped them to be more confident. It's helped them to make themselves a priority, to get rid of negative relationships. There's so much benefit that's come from it. So if you want to take advantage of that, I encourage you to, because this is the last time I'm going to be offering it at this pricing. And you just go to www.dianerolston.com/unleash dynamic you, or check the multiple emails I've sent you about it. And if you can't find those emails, search my email address, diane@dianerolston.com. I might have ended up in your junk folder, your promotions folder, or your marketing folder, even though I'm not junk. Sometimes email ends up there when it comes from Infusionsoft. So thank you for joining us. I will send out the recording to you all. I want to acknowledge you, though, for committing to yourself and for being in this process right now of creating these awesome vision boards, and I look forward to seeing them.
Thanks, Diane.
You're welcome. Bye, ladies.